Andrew, what do you think?
Well, ideally, we accelerate some of the solutions as well as the problems. And if you look up at the scope of the problems we're facing, we're looking at depression era levels of unemployment for months, maybe years. 40 million unemployment filings, 40% of that is essentially jobs that are gone for good. So you're looking at 16 million jobs that are gone for good. That's about 2x the Great Recession. And that's the best case scenario, that you get 60% of the jobs back, which I'm not sure is going to happen, given that if you look up at the airports and the car rental agencies and the restaurants and the convention centers and the sporting events and the bars, like, are they really going to be back at 50 to 100%? Just today I saw a picture of like an 8-hour line in Kentucky for someone to try to talk to a state unemployment benefit officer about trying to get unemployment. You're going to see food lines around the country. You're going to see unrest and problems. And right now, 65 to 70% of Americans say they support emergency cash relief. So because our government is so out of touch, only 10% of the $3 trillion or so in stimulus funding has gone to families. 90% of it's gone to companies, despite the fact that 65 to 70% of Americans think we should just be giving people money at this point. So this issue is not going to go away. Just the question is whether our government will respond, because DC is the richest city in our country. I know if you're in Silicon Valley, you're like, that can't be. We're the richest city in the country. But no, like it's DC per capita, at least if you just go like by the numbers. So our leaders in DC don't actually understand what's going on in most of these communities. And then the question is, how will they be made to understand? We just saw riots and protests in response to the killing of George Floyd. Like, what do the next set of riots look like? What do the next set of protests look like? Do they actually end up changing the will of Congress to match up to the will of the people? I don't know. But this is not going away. It's like we're in an era where you're going to need the federal government to take a much, much bigger role to dig us out of this deep, dark hole we're in. And I believe that our community, AAPIs, should be trying to lead this, because in a country that's torn apart by racial strife, it's going to be disastrous for our community, for every community. And that is where we are heading as a country. If anyone thinks you can wipe out tens of millions of jobs in a country where there are 300 million firearms, and every American is just going to look up and say, well, it's like, I don't know how to put food on my table or keep a roof over my head, but like, I guess it's going to be okay. I mean, that's not very likely. The trust is too low. Like, to me, and you can hear the frustration in my voice, but like, I do not understand for the life of me why this is not front and center for Congress getting this done yesterday. Because what is the downside to putting money into people's hands? Everyone thinks you're a hero. Everyone loves you. You did something right for a change. You helped to stave off a Great Depression. But instead, they're there. I don't know what they're doing. I mean, the unemployment benefits end in July, the moratorium on evictions end in August. You're going to see mass evictions around the country. And then what does the country look like? I'm very, very frustrated, Alec. Like, I hope that we can accelerate the solutions because the problems are here to stay.